happen to know what schools he coached for before coming to Akron?
No.
UCLA, I don't know.
Okay, that's all right.
Akron?
No guess?
No.
Do you know what schools he coached for before coming to Akron?
Yeah, Northern or North Alabama. Yeah, that's
Right.
the only one I know.
Right, well, you got one. So, good job.
Yeah.
Welcome back to the Sports Report. And now that we have caught you up on the football team, let's hit the base pads.
Now, while the baseball team was on the road, the softball team had the pleasure of hosting a slate of 4 games over the weekend.
Friday played as a doubleheader with Western Michigan as Northern Illinois came to Akron for games on Saturday and Sunday.
Let's get into the first game on Friday, where the Zips looked to gain momentum in the doubleheader.
And the Zips would lose a tight one 3-2 as the Broncos got a run in the 6th to give them the 1-run lead, proving to be all they needed for the victory. Akron's runs came in the second inning as they spread out 8 base hits for the game as Western capitalized on their 5 hits.
Now, the Zips still had 3 games to play after the Friday 1 o'clock start time.
Up first was the second half of the doubleheader with Western Michigan. The Broncos started out the first scoring 3 runs on 2 hits, 2 of those runs unearned after 2 Zip errors. Third baseman Gracie Barstead doubled to left center for the Broncos, driving in Meredith Whitney for the first run of the game. Zips pitcher Andrea Arney settled down in the top of the second and would retire the next 9 of 11 batters. The Lady Zips tied the game up in the 4th, starting the spark when Alex Helfrich singled to third base and ultimately scored on a throwing error by the Broncos catcher Allie Carlson. With first baseman Alyssa Burkheimer on second, middle infielder Kelly Rodebush cranked the ball out of the park, putting 2 more on the board for Akron. An extra inning surge by the Broncos would give them 2 runs in the 8th, ultimately giving them the 5-3 victory. The Zips tried to wrap up the weekend with a pair of wins, defeating NIU 8-6 on Saturday and looked to duplicate that win on Sunday.
For all Zips score updates, follow us on Twitter at ZTV Sports. It's that easy.
With the softball team hosting Western Michigan, the baseball team played opposite as they spent the weekend in Kalamazoo taking on the Broncos.
As Andrew Brown would pitch a phenomenal game on Friday, going the distance, 9 innings, 1 earned run, and the Zips take the 3-1 victory. Devin Ahart picked up 2 hits on the day while driving in another 2 as a 3-run second inning fueled the Zips offensively. On Saturday, it was a different story as the Broncos got out to a 7-0 lead through 5 as the Zips fell short 10-6. The 6 runs in the last 3 innings and 17 hits for UA proved to be too little, too late as the series became split at 1 game apiece. The Sunday 1 o'clock game proved to be the deciding game in the series and played as the final road contest in April for the team.
Now we are nearing the end of April, which means it becomes crunch time for both the softball and baseball teams.
To fill us in on when and where the teams will be closing out their April, we throw it to our guys sitting at the update desk.
It's our last Zips update for the year, and I have to say it's been quite a ride, D.
And what better way to end this ride than to give the people what they want? The schedules to close out the month for the softball and our baseball teams. Coach Jones and company will travel to Eastern Michigan on Friday, the 27th, for a doubleheader in Ypsilanti. The first pitch will be at 1 o'clock. Finishing April, the Zips will take on Central Michigan on the 28th and the 29th with 1 o'clock and 2 o'clock start times respectively.
Swinging over to the baseball team, and it's 5 home games to wrap up April. Canisius will be first on April 24th. Doubleheader that day, 3 o'clock and 6 o'clock for start times. Central Michigan will be in Akron for the 27th, 28th, and 29th, and they will play the first game of the season on Lee Jackson Field.
Well, David, hopefully both teams can close out the month in a similar fashion by gaining some wins.
That's exactly what I was thinking, but now it is time for the break, so let's go ahead and send it over for some Zips trivia.
Name one of Akron's MAC championship teams for the 2011-2012 school year. The answer and much more will be coming up after the break.